As a matter of fact, for an entire year, people would send me clips of Ethan, and I was like, bro, I don't want to talk about Ethan. There's a going on. I don't give a shit. That was my first deception. I tricked him into inviting me on. Yeah. Just like how you're obsessed with him. Lol, lol, lol. He confirmed the letter is from his lawyer. Wait, no. That letter is real? This letter is real? The letter that this lawyer sent to random anonymous Redditors is real. Ethan confirmed it. That honestly surprised you? Yes. And not because of like the depravity of Ethan Klein. No, the reason why I'm shocked is because what fucking lawyer would write this legal mechanism of extortion? That is, let me introduce you to this dipshit. He posted a clip to Snark that we DMCA'd. That should have been it. But then filed a fraudulent counter notification to bring the video back up, thereby forcing our hand to enforce our IP. We got his email address from the forum, and subsequently, with very little work, his real ID, I will be suing him, but he needs to get in line. He's very low priority, but we have in 3 years to sue. Plenty of time. By the way, dude, 8 years in university, please, bro, get a job. As someone studying accounting and finance, I think you'd have a better sense of risk management. Oh, well, some lessons come free. Free in proverbial sense. It will cost you quite a bit. Hope the 15-minute of clout from Snark was worth it. Oh, dude. You're doing the tweet. You never believe us? Yeah, I saw this earlier. Chatter, Hasan tells a completely true story about Ethan. What? That's not true. I don't believe you. He wouldn't do that. No, because it's so insane. And it's not because of Ethan. He's very clearly insane. He's at this stage, he's like Kanye level at his posting, okay? With seemingly no avail. Like no one is stopping him, right? But I would have expected a fucking lawyer who wants to maintain their reputation to not tell his client to stop his client from making such a ridiculous demand. Also, why is it that everyone that defends Israel ultimately turns into like Rabbi Shmuley, a anti-Zionist because of their fucking output? It's shocking that he volunteered this information, that he was so petty that he would go after random fucking anonymous Reddit accounts for posting Ethan's own fucking words, okay? And then simultaneously volunteer this information. He told Steiny if he was a real friend, he wouldn't have had you on the pod. Fuck, dude. Hey, talk with Steiny today.
For what? Let me ask you something positive, dude.
Listen, okay, try.
Like, yo, how is yours and Steve's relationships now? Oh, it's really great, H3. You know, after the podcast, we mended the relationship. Since you didn't watch the whole thing, it ended very positively. We shook hands.
Okay, good.
Showed love to each other.
Good.
Something that adults do. And
good.
Hopefully you and Hasan can do one day.
Oh, bro, you are you are literally walking with the sheep. If you were my friend, listen, if you were my friend,
maybe
if you were my friend, you wouldn't even have had him on. It wouldn't even be a question.
I'm just letting you know. And maybe he fooled me, but it seems like that guy actually...
He did fool you.
At this point, maybe not at this point, it's different, but it seemed like he actually genuinely cared or cares about you.
Yeah, he did fool you. He's a psychopathic piece of shit that spent the last, like, year trying to destroy me.
Bro, come on, man. Come on, dude. Someone, please... Anyone that is in his vicinity that he still listens to, you have to do an intervention, dude. This is crazy. Like, this is, oh my God.
And by the way, and just lying, clipping, doing all this ridiculous shit. And that's part of his shtick, is that he shows up to other people's show and first
of all, Steiny invited me. Like, also, I never clipped him. The only times that I looked at his clips were when he was talking shit about me. As a matter of fact, for an entire year, people would send me clips of Ethan, and I was like, bro, I don't want to talk about Ethan. There's a going on. I don't give a shit. That was my first deception. I tricked him into inviting me on. Yeah. Just like how you're obsessed with him. Lol, lol, lol. Yeah. Oh my God.
a psychopath who can perform on a high level to charm and trick people. That's what he does.
All right, man.
And he's explicitly said it that he does it for the explicit purpose of running normies through into his funnel to radicalize them.
Well, he didn't get me.
He did. It sounds like he got you. It sounds like he got you. But that's okay.
Shit.
I hope it's a good
Maybe he did.
Yeah. But you know they say psychopaths are very charming. It's that thing. Like on the surface they're very charming.
Yeah, well, I know you think I don't do anything all day out here, so I'd like to go enjoy that.
What'd you get?
And dude, at Papa John's, bro, it's my cheat day.
I feel like at this point, I mean, it's projection, but it's also, god damn. I love that he thinks it's like a secret. I'm the one who volunteers this information. Like, it's not a secret that, yes, I want to pull people away from right-wing attitudes, right-wing politics. Okay? That is not a secret. You didn't find this. I volunteered it on a podcast. And I talk about it all the time. I've been interviewed by the New York Times, CNN, NPR, numerous outlets where they go, Hasan, how do you do what you do? And I tell them, I'm like, hey, what I do requires a lot of charitability. And I'm very fortunate enough to look a certain way, to have these kinds of affinities, to have these kinds of interests that allow me to penetrate through otherwise inaccessible routes to talk to people about my worldview. That's what I do. Yes, it's not a secret. This is not disingenuous. It would be disingenuous if I hid my true perspective. If you ask me what my perspective is, including what I'm doing, I will tell you. I have no shame in this process. I don't think this is a shameful thing. I think this is an honest thing. This is a good thing. As a matter of fact, I'm almost certain I talked to Steiny about this on the podcast too, to a certain degree, because he was asking me, I don't want to leak it. You'll see when it comes out, but because he asked me like what my gripes were with the Nelk boys, and I was open with him. I was honest. You're a snake for teaching empathy. I know, it's really f***ed up. Yes, my goal that I explicitly state all the time is to make people more empathetic to others. That's my goal. Oopsie, I leaked it. I want people to be more empathetic to others. What is this? Hasan's content helps shift my perspective, and I'm genuinely grateful. I'm 20. For a while, I was a pretty big Trump supporter, mostly because he came off as bold, confident, and I like the challenge. I like that he was challenging the system. It was easy to buy into that image without fully understanding the bigger picture. Over the last couple of months, I started watching Hasan's content more regularly. The way he breaks down policy, history, and current events made me reflect on a lot of what I used to believe. I've gained a much better understanding of economic issues, especially around things like tariffs, class structures, and how political narratives are shaped. It's made me realize how surface level my previous views were and how important it is to actually understand the systems at play. Just want to say thanks to Hasan and the community. Y'all helped open my eyes in a big way. Hell yeah. I actually came across a clip of Hasan on TikTok randomly and it just pulled me in. It's wild how much your perspective can shift when someone takes the time to break things down in a clear, honest way. One thing led to another, and here I am. Forget that. The one and only reason you shifted your perspective is because you have an open mind. The difference between a conservative and a leftist is how open they keep their mind. Most people here are brought up not knowing about what gay or trans even means. We're even brought up as, rah, America good, USSR bad, fuck communism. But keeping an open mind is really what differentiates us. Yeah. I do think, yes, that that's all it takes is charitability and keeping an open mind. And a part of that is quite literally me going on these podcasts and doing stuff like that so that people realize that I'm not the fucking monster that even people like Ethan present me as to their audiences, with the sole purpose of trying to convince people not to be fucking assholes, you know? It is pretty wild that that is considered like indecent somehow. Even or people act as though I you know, hide this goal that I have, that I explicitly detail all the time, virtually every single day, and also on numerous outlets. Yeah, this is a good question as well. Perhaps a good follow-up question to this from Joe Rogan would have been why foreign journalists, even freelance ones, aren't allowed to actually go to Gaza, and why Murray was somehow got to tour the spot where Sinwar was killed to do a photo shoot. People think the center is inherently good, so the further away from the center you are, the crazier you are. Yeah, but the center keeps shifting to the right. Anyway. Oh, by the way, tomorrow, I will be going to the Bernard rally. And no, this was not your invitation to send me all things Ethan Klein. Jesus Christ. Immediately and instantly, I ate the bait. Someone said Ethan actually volunteered this information. And I didn't even get to finish my point. My point was, it's not that I'm shocked that Ethan would do something so insane. No, not at all. I didn't believe it because I thought that a fucking lawyer that went to law school, that paid their way through college, that went and studied for the bar exam, passed the bar exam, would write such a fucking ridiculous cease and desist order, privilege of confidential settlement communication pursuant to federal rule of evidence in California evidence code section, where he straight up goes, hey, because you're in violation of fair use, we want you to do completely random shit that is utterly irrelevant. Although the office only received it as today, as set forth below, under no circumstances does your use of TEI's work on Ishnark constitute as fair use. Your 12-5-24 fraudulent counter notification constitutes misrepresentation, an opportunity for you to avoid a lawsuit for copyright infringement. And in a countersuit for fucking fair use, your only option to avoid litigation is if you provide our office with all correspondence you have had with the moderators of H3 Snark. You provide our office with all the correspondence you've had with other H3 Snark users. This is literally a fucking subreddit. Like, can you imagine you posted one of my videos on a fucking subreddit, so now I own you? Like, the idea that you can do this is so crazy. It's just extortion. Imagine if you started DMCing all those clips his Snark subreddits post about you and threatening to sue random redditors in E subreddit. All those drama slop tubers who are defending E would make videos about it, dunking on you. They're all a bunch of hypocrites. Yeah, 100%. If I did this, if I went into H3 Productions, the subreddit right now, and went through a bunch of these fucking things, or even Destiny subreddit, both at certain points have been used as a Hasan Snark subreddit. If I were to literally get a lawyer who is, I guess, stupid enough that they would put their name on such a frivolous piece of litigation, okay? And I demanded that these people give me like personal details about themselves or reveal information about anonymous users that I speculate they're in coordination with in the process. How many fucking YouTube videos would every single one of those drama slop tubers make? How many? Oh my God. It would get like 7 billion views, dude. Every single one of them would be going crazy. They'd be like, oh, Hasan, he did it again. He's the worst guy. Yeah, there'd be a fucking movement. They'd be like, save Reddit. We have to save Reddit. It's crazy. But when Ethan does this shit, not a peep from those very same drama slop tubers. Now, why is there not a peep from those guys? Because there's one guy that they hate more than they hated Ethan at the time, as they got millions of views over all the fucking ridiculous shit that Ethan was doing at the time. And that's me. Speaking of organizing a protest to save Reddit, wasn't Ethan supposed to organize a protest against Reddit? He was going to do a Laura Loomer thing and chain himself outside of Reddit headquarters. Yeah, look, I'm not a lawyer, as you guys know. I don't think I could ever pass the bar. But having said that, I feel like it's pretty crazy for a lawyer to be like, yeah, you violated copyright and then tried to countersue us or to claim that you have fair use here in violation of copyright. So for that reason, you now have to be my butler for 30 days. Or you have to tell me your deepest, darkest secrets. You have to tell me, you know, what your mother's favorite food is. You know, you have to give me your mother's maiden name. Like, that's like, it seems like that's an insane demand to make. It's basically extortion because you want to bury someone with legal paperwork, knowing full well that a college student is not going to be able to deal with that financially. Very cool. If it's billable, I promise most do not give a shit. I mean, don't these guys care about their fucking reputations? Like, I don't get it. They know she's a college student too, making fun of her. Yeah, I know. Yeah, gross. Big, powerful man, Ethan. You feel powerful, dude? You feel big? Or do you feel small?
So
Do you feel small that all of your efforts seemingly have failed, and that most people think you're a fucking loser? And I do mean it when I say I wish him well. In spite of all of the things that he's done to me, all the things that he's done to my friends, all the constant efforts of smearing and deplatforming, constant fucking demands, some of which have been successful, to, you know, get Zionist as a term banned from Twitch alongside the ADL. I do still want him to just get better, because I think if he gets better, he'll stop doing this shit. If he just like stop streaming for, I don't know, a fucking month or two and just completely fucking cleansed his timeline, didn't go on his phone, went to therapy, tried to deal with it, I think he would return in glorious fashion. Perhaps maybe even apologize for all of the stuff that he did and say, look, I wasn't all right. I was not, you know, I was not in the best mindset. You can't accept you have empathy. So yeah, I think I'm being honest when I say, like, I wish that he would get better, because it's clear that this kind of stuff he hopes will magically change people's attitude about him. But the only thing it does is it makes him sadder. Girl, he's using his summer vacation off YouTube to film Nuke Part 2. O'Brien Potatoes in the chat. Hey, what up, O'Brien Potatoes? Let's see what Chris Kunzler had to say. Video yesterday about Ethan. So we'll see.
Last night, Ethan Klein spoke about me on his podcast, and he is still choosing to ignore my video. I'll just show you what he said.
Yeah. Surprise, surprise. Noah is promoting Ethan Zionist confirmed. By the way, I can't get over it, man. It's just so easy to get views on YouTube right now by using my name. I'm pretty sure this channel, it popped up on the subreddit, his normal videos get like 200 views. And then all of a sudden, this guy's he's an expert on Zionism and Israel history.
I mean, he is. He quite, like, I mean, it's as close as you can get to being an expert on Zionism. He has a master's in Middle Eastern studies, so he's definitely more knowledgeable than you, Ethan.
And now he's got 80,000 views, probably his most viewed video by far.
Now, if you're wondering what this is in relation to, it's about a long-form video I made on YouTube called The Confused Zionism of Ethan Klein. But I have a lot to say to this, because first of all, I did not become an expert in Zionism overnight. I started learning about this when I was 17. I literally had no idea what Zionism or Palestine really was before this point. But I read the work of Ilan Pappé and Noam Chomsky on Palestine, and I was shocked. I wanted to learn more. I got an undergraduate degree in Middle Eastern Studies, and last year I got a master's, for which I received a prize for having a high average, and also received a distinction for my dissertation. I spent time around some of the foremost experts in Israel, Palestine, and also the Middle East as a whole. And on the topic of my YouTube channel being small, of course it is. I've made about 5 videos that are all rather low quality because I've always been a TikToker. I've been doing this for 2 years. I founded a platform with the literal goal of teaching young white Western people who look like me.
I mean, it is funny. I really like Chris because I saw his TikToks from a long time ago, and I thought he was very smart and made a lot of very convincing arguments that I think more people should hear. And I never really thought that he would do this, like get involved in Ethan's madness. But like, there was never a moment where I thought to myself, like, this guy's not knowledgeable at all.
More about Palestine, because as I say, I didn't know anything when I was younger. I should have known, because what's been happening in Palestine is not some distant thing. It is British policy, it is Western policy, and it is our history. Britain literally created the problems that are there today. And on the topic of using Ethan's name to get...
Yeah, the OG anti-Semitic Christian Zionist archetype is quite literally how Israel, the inception of Israel began. Okay, Lord Balfour and his declaration. And ironically enough, the only guy who at the time was against it was a Jewish dude who was like, what do you mean? You want to send all the Jews to the desert? That seems rather weird. That seems like a weird scheme, man. I don't know about this.
Get views. Yeah, of course I did. It was on YouTube. I wanted to grow my channel on that platform, and I wanted to highlight someone like you, Ethan, who spreads dangerous Zionist propaganda to an audience of impressionable people who follow you regardless of what you're saying. You tell people you are going to Israel to show them the real side of a country that is currently perpetrating unimaginable crimes against humanity. And I'm sorry, but this is the name of the game with talking about Palestine. Content around this topic is so suppressed by social media algorithms. So what you need to do is tap into things that people are interested in, whether that's world events, politics, streamers, drama, shit like this, because through this you can force out information to a far larger audience, perhaps even to impressionable people who you can sway the opinion of, and you can teach them something about something that matters so much more than all of this drama. In fact, I'm ashamed to say it, but there is an old video on my platform from around August of 2023 when I am very sympathetic towards you. I am really ashamed of it. I used you and Healer when I was a fan of you because of Leftovers and thought that you were actually doing more for Palestine than other content creators. But look at you now. That's why I'm doing this, Ethan. It's not just drama. It's not because I don't know anything about Palestine. And it's not just because I wanted views. What I did was I forced out information about you to hundreds of thousands of people. And I grew my YouTube channel. And I am now going to keep on doing that.
All he's hearing of this is that Chris is manipulating him. Jesus. Yeah, Chris Kunzler on TikTok. He's great. And his video also was great. The Confused Zionism of Ethan Klein. I should post it on my fucking Instagram. That's what I'm going to do. What's the British equivalent of Bad Empanada because he's him? No. Bad Empanada is very well researched, but Bad Empanada is crazy. Bad Empanada would not be able to have a fucking TikTok account consistently because he does wild shit with regular frequency. Right after that post that seen the whole nuke and it's time to talk because you have. Wait, what? No. It's not about right or wrong. It's not that Ethan is not a small child with a small brain. He's not duped. Okay. He just doesn't want to be wrong and he can't fucking deal with it because he's so goddamn narcissistic. So instead of reflecting on what he has said and why people are reacting the way that they are reacting to him, he's decided to take the path of just torching his fucking career and any kind of remaining goodwill that he could have gotten from people. It's just pure, yeah, it's pure ego, and that's what it is. And he just seemingly won't stop. But, you know, good luck, I guess. I don't fucking know. But that's why I say I wish him well. It is, I wish him well because it is also self-interested of me to wish him well, because if he was in a normal mindset, and I say this as someone who has seen him when, you know, I had a podcast with him for fucking 2 years. Like, he was a much better natured person than what he has become now. And I'm not even saying that exclusively because he's like shitting on me all the fucking time and smearing me viciously and trying to get me deplatformed. I'm saying like things that I see from the way he carries himself, the way he behaves, like it's very obvious that he is not in a good mental state. So I think that is, I mean, that's part of the reason why I want him to get better. It's not just, I mean, there is definitely a little bit of self-interest there as well, for sure. I think you're being way too charitable. I think he's an evil, bad faith actor who knows exactly what he's doing. I mean, he is a bad faith actor, but that's not the whole story. Like, he is, yes, of course he's a bad faith actor. But, I mean, it's like he very clearly is not all there, you know? Anyway, that's all I got for today, chat.